Clay Calder. If you have a question for Clay, please go ahead and raise your hand, and we will start with Salvador.
Hello? You guys hear me?
Salvador, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
I can't hear him. He's talking, but I can't.
Hear me now? Hello, hello? All right, great.
All right, go ahead,
Clay, how's it going? Hey, Clay, how's it going?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Congratulations on your baby boy. Start off. So you've had 4 fights with the PFL now. One of those was a really close fight with last year's lightweight champion. What's your mindset going into this year's playoffs?
Just keep winning, man. I mean, I don't feel like I lost the fight last year. I know that the judges thought so, but in my opinion, I won that fight. So my mindset is just to keep trucking and keep winning.
Awesome, thank you.
Jonathan.
Hey, Clay, hope you're doing well, man. The PFL has had you main eventing a couple of events now. How do you feel that the PFL is using you as a marketing tool? Because you've seemed to be getting these wins, putting on exciting fights. How does that make you feel as a fighter?
I mean, it's well deserved. You know, I'm a main event fighter. I feel like I've been that way since the beginning of my career. I'm always 90% of the time I'm the most exciting fight on the card. It's just my fighting style and who I am as a person. So, yeah, I just feel like I deserve to be there.
Awesome. I appreciate you, man, and good luck this weekend.
Max.
How you doing, Clay? This is Max Going from the Going Live Network. Thanks for taking the time, man. Really appreciate it. Just had a quick question for you. Your boxing skills, obviously, the storyline of the season, I think, so far. Your 2 boxing matches in between the last season and this season, do you think you gained some confidence or some knowledge in between that's really helped display what you've done so far?
I'm focused on mixed martial arts. I'm focused on the PFL, and yeah, I've got, you know, the hands like a boxer, but I feel like I'm a well-rounded fighter, and that's why I'm winning fights. Boxing definitely helps. It always helps, but I feel like I win because I'm well-rounded.
Absolutely. And just one more follow-up for me. If you deliver the same shots you did to Jeremy on Alex Martinez, do you think that he'll be able to survive those?
We're hoping to put him away, man. We need some points for the tournament and to solidify our spot in the playoffs. So I'm definitely going to be putting some shots on him. You know, hopefully he doesn't stand up to him for sure.
Yeah, I think we're all surprised that Jeremy did as well. So thanks so much for the time, man. Good luck this weekend.
Benjamin Davis.
Hey, Clay, 2 from me. First of all, earlier today, you had the nunchucks and the size. I was curious how often you train with those more traditional martial arts weapons.
You know, I like to play around with my bow staff. I have a bow staff hanging up in my gym, so that's my favorite thing. I just like to mess around, man. So, I'm a martial artist in all aspects of life. So.
And now the thing is, many people still consider you a dark horse. This year alone, headlining 2 PFL cards, arguably undefeated in the promotion overall. Do you feel like the underdog or the dark horse, or should you be considered the favorite in these situations?
I feel like I'm the man to beat in the tournament. You know, I took out, you know, former UFC champion. This year, you know, they matched me up with one of the toughest guys, one of the top 10 guys in the UFC. So, you know, I'm knocking out the top guys, and I'm beating the top guys. And so I feel like I'm the man to beat.
Daniel Levy.
Clay, welcome to Atlanta. How you liking it here so far?
You know, it's not our first time here. We've actually stayed at the same hotel, so we kind of know our way around. I'm excited to go play after the fight, I guess.
You know, Atlanta has a long history with classic fights. I mean, we're talking Rashad Evans versus Chuck Liddell, Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway, Israel versus Kelvin Gastelum. Is it exciting to fight in a place like this where people truly love and respect MMA?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how the fans react. We'll see if it gets hypey Friday night. That's for sure.
And lastly, you've been in there with the Anthony Pettises, the Jeremy Stevens, the Max Holloways. Alex Martinez doesn't quite have that name, but he's a young, hungry kid trying to make a name for himself. How does that change things for you?
It doesn't change anything for me per se. I'm just going in there to do my job, and my job is to beat people up. So I respect Alex. He's an awesome kid. He's tough. He's sweet.
Thanks, Clay.
I got a challenge on my hands for sure.
Good luck this weekend, man.
Thank you.
Dave Van Auken.
Hey, Clay, this is Dave with Fight Bananas. I thought your last fight so far was probably fight of the year in the PFL, a war with Jeremy Stevens back and forth. How important is it to kind of get Alex out quick, or a little bit more of a domination to kind of heal your body to make sure you're 100% through the playoffs?
Honestly, I didn't really take too many lumps or bruises in that Jeremy Stevens fight. I got hit a couple times, but I wear them well. So, yeah, I'm just looking forward to the fight and, getting this weight cut over with and going in there and doing what I love to do. So.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate your time. Good luck.
Jonathan.
Hey, Clay. You're currently tied at third with 3 points in the standings. I'm just curious, is there any strategy as far as trying to get yourself a certain seed and getting yourself a certain matchup, or are you just more confident in yourself that you're going to run over whoever's in front of you regardless?
We're just trying to win fights, man. I feel like they gave Anthony Pettis the easy man. He got his quick 6, so props to him for doing that. But it doesn't matter how the playoffs line up. Like if I'm in there, I'm winning fights. So.
Appreciate you, my man. Good luck.
Any more questions for Clay before we let him go? All right. Thank you, Clay. Appreciate your time today.
Thanks so much, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks, Coach.
So we had they couldn't hear him super great.
They can't hear him super great?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll turn it up.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it. Just turn up the mic and that should.
Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds great on my end. So,
Okay.
is the same laptop you're using, Lisa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, that really sounds like something mic. Can you hear him? The mic is on the front. Oh. Okay. Should we go now? Okay.
I'll have to get the speaker working. Yeah. You want to jump on this? Get the speaker connected real quick. To her laptop? Yeah. This one, get this second. Yeah, Tony, I just disconnected that one.
Did you turn this off?
What's that?
You turn it off?
Yeah, I just did.
We are fixing the mic situation.
Check. Everybody hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up or something through Tony.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
have a.
It's got the Bluetooth button right on top.
Yeah. You have cable. You have your headphones, like your Go set or something, and then just go straight off cord into the laptop. So.
It's Jared's personal.
Yeah, it's got the cord. Just go straight.
Does Tony have that port?
Yeah. All laptops.
Yeah, I have to press to talk. Yeah, but I don't know if it's picking up over there. I don't fucking
Who's your next fighter?
know. Natan.
Cool. Is that coming in to translate?
Yes. Not on me. Mm-mm.
Yeah, but
Did you get it's on the top?
Not LinkedIn or Dave, or one of you guys.
Jonathan, are you there?
I am. What's up?
Yes, okay, perfect.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, perfect.
thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
You just going direct in? Here's a Bluetooth.
Not with the revenue.
Yeah.
It's like the.
I couldn't get Bluetooth to latch. It would connect, but it wouldn't do anything. Do you go sit down for me?
Mic check. We're just looking straight down for the light.
Yep.
Oh yeah, looking good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today I'm gonna go 3 rounds with, I don't know, 10-piece wings.
How was preparation for your fight with the 10-piece wings?
You know, I tried really hard to just like think about the technique to break down the chicken bone. So I'm gonna go flats, like push down the meat and then lollipop it. Just
Wow.
try to. I really.
Don't worry, I was over there. That'll make it. What's up? Are we just waiting on the time or see what?
Yeah, we're waiting on the time.
Sorry, dude, something about his speakers won't connect Bluetooth with yours. Yeah.
But it's all good now, right?
We're just going to hard one. That's why. Bluetooth. Fine, when you push the button down, just give it a second before it's on.
Oh, okay.
You're doing fine. It just got off like there a couple times. Okay. Just gotta push it and latch.
I just wrapped up this.
You guys working on it?
How much you could get in these sound bites in here? It's like easier.
Yeah.
What do you want to?
Your first.
All right, guys, we have Natan. If you have questions for him, please go ahead and start raising your hand.
What's up? What's up?
Sentar aqui. Piazão. Tu vai me ajudar aí, Piazão, se eu errar no inglês.
Right, let's get started with Jonathan.
I think I heard you call me. Hey Natan, hope all is well. You're going up against the guy who handed you your first loss in the PFL. What do you feel like you need to do differently to get this to win this time around?
This is the rematch against Marcin, and I'm excited because in the first fight I was like lazy in the first round, but in this fight I'm going to start very fast.
Now, you and your opponent has submissions as your choice of finish. How do you think those grappling exchanges are going to grow if they go into the ground?
You have a good heel hooks. I've trained with Marcin in American Top Team, but it's a long time ago. But I gonna to defend, but I gonna use my wrestling, my jiu-jitsu too, in this fight, because the first fight I fought just in like Muay Thai box, and in this fight I'm gonna to try my takedowns.
Awesome. Thanks, Natan, and good luck this Friday.
Thanks so much.
Max.
How you doing? It's Max going from the Going Live Network. Thanks so much for taking the time. I just had a quick question. Obviously, Joanna retired this weekend after an amazing career. I just wanted to know what your reaction was when you found out that news, and what will you remember most about being her teammate?
Just one second. Acho que é sobre a aposentadoria que eu achei, né? She's my partner training. I have the same coach, Catel and Macarrão, and I have a good relationship with her. And I'm very happy because his career is very good. Like she's former champion UFC. You know, she's a very strong striker, and I send the message for her, like, hey, congratulations, your career is so amazing, you know, and yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Amazing career for her. And then just a little follow up for you about your rematch with Marcin this weekend. When you do fight a guy that you have fought before, can you explain a little bit of the mentality that you have? Does it give you a little more confidence knowing what you're facing?
Yeah, in the first fight against Marcin in the last year, I was like 1 year since my last fight in the finals in 2019. And I was a little nervous, but I was a little excited, you know. But in this fight, I'm very, how can I say? I'm very, como que eu falo? É confident, né? Yeah, confident for this fight because I fought very well in my last fight against Olivier, and I'm very excited for this fight in this Friday.
Thank you so much for the time and good luck this weekend.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Natan, you're a big Marshall Inu guy. I was curious how you believe they are changing the fighter compensation process.
Can you repeat again? Sorry.
You're a big Marshall Inu guy, obviously the crypto that a lot of fighters have been engaging with. I was curious, how do you believe that they're changing the fighter compensation process?
Eu falo que
Ele falou que você tá com margem de ser cara completo, então você acha que vai ser?
Não, acho que não foi isso, né? Será que não falou do Marshall Inu? You talked about the Marshall Inu?
Yes. I was hoping
yeah.
you would give me your thoughts on it.
Yeah, he supported me in my last fight, and he supports a lot of fighters, you know, in the PFL, Bellator, UFC, all the fighters he supports, you know, and this is very good, you know. And I send a message, thank you, Marshall Inu, for supporting me, you know, for this fight. And he's a very good people. É que eu não tinha entendido.
Daniel.
Hey, Daniel Levy from Half the Battle here. Natan, welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you.
How you liking it here?
I've been here after my second fight in PFL in the 2019. I visited my friends here, you know, Jucão, and I train here after the fight, you know, visit this place. This is an amazing place, you know, amazing city. I like him. He's very, very close to my city in South Florida, you know.
Now, Natan, Atlanta has a long history with classic fights. I mean, we're talking about Rashad Evans versus Chuck Liddell, Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway, Israel Adesanya versus Kelvin Gastelum. Is it exciting to fight in a place like this where people truly love and respect MMA?
Yes, this is my first fight here, but I'm very excited, you know. This is close to Florida, you know, my friends coming to Florida for what my fights, you know, and this is very exciting, you know.
And lastly, Natan, you're a two-time world champion. You've accomplished things that fighters could only dream of. You could literally retire today comfortably and no one would hold it against you. What keeps you hungry and motivated to keep going and chasing new heights with all these young, hungry fighters coming up?
Now I'm hungry for this fight, you know, because my daughter, she's born in the last year, and now I fight for my family, you know, just for my family, my country, my team, my American top team, my coach, my all partners, you know, and I'm very excited, you know, I'm very excited for this fight. I'm very happy.
Obrigado, Natan. Best of luck.
Thanks so much, my friend.
Hey, Natan, Sal Garcia from Punch Media. Your teammate Raush Manfio is also fighting on this card. How much does it help to work in camp with him as you both prepare to throw down on Saturday?
I help Raush like a lot, in the training. Not too much now because we're gonna fight in the same division, the 155. But I go to his house like all week, drink the coffee with him. He's my partner, my friends, a long time. It's a long time. Maybe since Brazil, maybe 10 years, and in this camp, we don't train like sparring because we have a different opponents, different styles, But when I talk to him, I talk to my experience against Olivier, and he do this, he do that. But Raush is my friend. It's a long time. This is not changing, If I need to fight against Raush, this is no problem. I talk to him since the last year,
Great, thank you.
All right.
Jim Barcelone.
Thank you. I'm curious, expanding on that, what is it like being at American Top Team, and what made you decide to start be training at American Top Team with all the fighters and coaches that are there?
1 second, que eu não entendi agora. Entendi. This is my dream since Brazil, when I start to training and watch fights in the UFC or Bellator, I watch the fights and I check the como que é logo? Logo, logo, I don't know say. Yeah, the brands like American Top Team, a lot of fighters in the same gym, and this gym is so good. There are a lot of fighters, the UFC or Bellator, or Pride, and this team is very big. I need to train in this team, and my dream starts in Brazil, and I did my visa, and no, I go to training in this gym because in the USA, because this is my dream. I gonna train there and be a champion, and I coming to American Top Team 2016. Yes, 2016, my first time here. And I start training with the coach, with the all partners. Thank you for Dan Lambert, because Dan Lambert is very important. Dan Lambert, my coach is Parrumpa, because he helped me, all coaches, Macarrão, Catel, VV, my coach Wrestling Moco, all these people help me like every day in the American Top Team. This is the best team in the world. I love this team.
And lastly, for me, you mentioned Manfio and having coffee with him. I'm wondering, did he play guitar for you?
Entendi. No, because I don't play guitar. I not play guitar,
He's a big guitar player. Hey, listen, all the best. Thank you.
Yeah, but when I go to the church, in his church, I see he's played the guitar very well,
Yeah, he does well. He says he can't sing, but he can play the guitar.
Yeah, I need to start learning.
Thank you so much.
All right, my friend.
Jonathan Rumble, Count 5 Region Sports. And it's me again. Last time out, you got a split decision loss with only 2 finishes on the standings for this division. How important is it for you to get a finish to secure that playoff spot for the playoffs this year?
Yeah, this is very important for me because in this new style of PFL is different than 2018 or 2019, because just 4 fighters going to the playoffs, and it's a little bit hard for all the fighters. But in my opinion, yes, I need to fight. I need to finish this fight before the end.
Thanks again and good luck.
All right. Thank you.
Any last questions for Natan before we let him go? All right. Thank you,
All
Natan.
right, guys. Thanks so much.
Appreciate you.
Sorry for late.
No worries.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks, you.
Is that the last fight?
What's up, dude?
Is that the last fight that's coming in?
What's that?
Is that the last fight that's coming in?
No, there's a bunch more. It's only just begun.
You're just looking at trying to soften it up. Right. Cool.
So underrated. Stuff, dude. There's just stuff to do.
Thank you.
6'4" North Tower. Oh, he's calling me. He's calling me. Hold on.
Sit here, no? Yeah.
All right, guys, calling an audible, doing Sordi here first. Please raise your question, or excuse me, raise your hand if you have a question for Sordi.
All right. Please raise your hand if you have a question for Sordi.
Stiff? Nope.
Mhm.
You're in like 70%.
Oh, okay.
Jonathan, go ahead and start us off, please.
Jonathan Ramlakan, 5 Reasons Sports. Hey, Emiliano. After starting 8-1 in the PFL, you've been unable to pick up a win in the last 3 fights. What do you feel like you need to change to get a win this time around?
Sorry, could you just repeat that real quick?
Yeah, for sure. I was saying after starting 8-1 in the PFL, you've been unable to pick up a win in the last 3 fights. What do you feel like you need to change to get the win this time around?
Empezaste tu carrera con PFL con 8
8
ganadas y ahora en las últimas 3 has perdido 2 y un empate. ¿Qué necesitas para regresar a ganar?
I think I need lost 2 fights, you know, for put more work in me. I'm not working very more ¿cómo se dice? Más consciente,
More conscious?
more conscious. I think this is my opportunity, no?
Now, what do you feel like you learned from those losses? You said you've been putting in some work. What do you feel like you've been able to take away from those losses that you can use to grow?
Entonces, de esas dos derrotas, ¿qué has aprendido para crecer, como para mejorarte?
Yeah, I need to train more. I work a little more times in my business, not in my real work. I'm a fighter, no businessman. But in the last year, I put more work in my business, not in my training. And in these last 2 or 3 months, I put a really hard work in my real work, in MMA.
Getting back to being true to your real business, which is being a professional fighter. Now, you have almost 3 times as much experience as your opponent, who only has 10 fights total. How do you feel your experience will give you an edge in this fight?
I think it's so much better for me. I have more than 30 fights. I have maybe 31, 32 in MMA. I have 11 fight in kickboxing, boxing. I think the experience is very, very good. I have a long time in the game.
Thank you, and good luck this week, just this Friday.
Thank you.
Emiliano, you said June is a month full of memories with 3 fights in your career taking place this month, dating back to 2011. How excited are you to make another memory in June?
I think June is a good month for me. I don't like the predictions. I don't like the nothing this. For me, fight. But again, I'm ready for this fight, and June is better.
Max.
How you doing, Emiliano? This is Max going from the Going Live Network. Just had a quick question about your opponent, Delon. What part of his game do you think you need to neutralize most in order to get the victory?
¿Qué parte de tu oponente, de su juego, tú necesitas como neutralizar? ¿Qué es lo que le hace mejor?
He say he's a judo guy, but I never see him in the ground. He's a striker, very aggressive. But I think it's better for me. I have counters. I have a good counters. I think it's perfect style for me win in the free round.
And just one more follow-up question for me. Now, you are unfortunately looking on the outside, looking into the playoff picture right now. Do you feel that you are do you feel you will be forced to go for a finish quickly, or is that part of the game plan in order to get those bonus points?
It's my style. My style is fight, I have maybe 20 fights in the free round, maybe 11 or 15 in the first minute. It's my style. For me, no separation. I need to win a fight. I want it in the first round. Is too much better, of course. But winner, when I win, I'm happy.
Definitely understandable. Thank you so much for the time and good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Emiliano, bienvenidos a Atlanta. Welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you.
How are you liking it here so far?
I like it, but it's very hot, man. It's more hot here in Florida.
Yeah, it's very hot. That's why they call it Hotlanta. And listen, man, Atlanta has a long history with classic fights. We're talking about Rashad Evans versus Chuck Liddell, Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway, Israel Adesanya versus Kelvin Gastelum. Is it exciting to fight in a place like this where MMA is truly loved and appreciated?
It's great, but I think I don't need a big fight. I need one quick, maybe in 1 minute.
Now, Emiliano, Argentinian fighters are known for having a lot of heart and pride. And after winning the belt and having such a huge accomplishment, do you still have the same motivation and hunger you once had?
Yes. Yeah. Again, I put a little more work in my business, but I know I have put a focus one more time in the belt, in the championship, in my career. I think that people, when they win the money, sometimes put a focus in different parts, But and now I put a focus one more time in my legacy.
And how's the fight scene in Argentina these days? Are there a lot of young and up-and-coming fighters to look out for?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Argentina have a very, very good fighters, but the problem is the economy. You need a minimum maybe $1,000 for coming to America to training or for fights. $5,000 is maybe 3 years the work in Argentina. You know, it's impossible for the guys.
And lastly, I know Argentina is known for some amazing steak. They call it El Lomo. After your fight here, man, are you trying to try out some of the steak in Atlanta? Because I can tell you it's very good here.
Man, I'm an import meat now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I have the best meat in the world.
Well, buena suerte. Good luck, man. And see you Friday.
Okay, thank you. See you in the barbecue after fight.
Yes, sir.
Jamie.
Saludos, Emi, desde Panamá, Jaime Barrios, de MMA Fan 507. Emi, después de tu primera pelea en esta temporada, leí que decías que te sentías bien, pero que habías tomado algunas malas decisiones. ¿A qué te referías con ese comentario?
Pasé bastante tiempo más en Argentina después de la última pelea y poco tiempo acá. Estuve haciendo algunas otras cosas allá en Argentina y como que no le dediqué tanto tiempo al entrenamiento.
Vale, gracias, Emi. Mucha suerte en tu combate.
Gracias.
Any more questions for Sordi? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Now we go to the next.
Yes, next door. Thank you.
Ahora son en vivo.
Give me some check checks on that class. Just a class.
Check.
That works.
Check.
Look up.
Check. All right, guys. So we're gonna have a little break here, about 20 minutes. I apologize for that. So please bear with me. But I will see you guys in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
How do we turn all these mics off for a second? Can you just...
Now we have a 20-minute break because Sordi went in Pausch's place. Yep. All right, guys, just wanted to provide an update. 2:15 with Myles price.
You're not open.
Am I open now? Okay, sorry guys, I'm just coming here for an update. We will start back up at 2:15 with Myles price. I apologize. We had had to call an audible. So I will see you guys at 2:15. Go make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, grab a Red Bull, Kit Kat bar, and I'll see you at 2:15. Next door.
Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Closing it.
I don't need to eat for those 2 days.
Javon, am I sound?
No, we back up.
Myles is here, so we're gonna start.
Okay.
Broad Street. Yeah, there's a lot of like diners and like cafeterias down over there.
Hello, we're back early. I was gonna see if any of you guys are still here or if you're making sandwiches, but we do have Myles Price, so we will go ahead and start in 4 minutes if you can rush back to your computer.
We got those green screen shots tomorrow after we somebody shot him up for his. Oh yeah. So they can put up a green screen on stage. We can do it tomorrow for a minute. We can do it tomorrow here at the atrium. Because all we have in the morning is just does he has to set fighters at once? No. No, just do the minute each. We'll grab 2 different fighters, just get each footage. We can set up here. Okay. Well, yeah, that's like later in the afternoon. Come back room. You want to hang out? Jets. Yeah, so. Next year is we're wrapping up. Well, this is good. You can leave shit here. It's about 3 miles away. And I'll just wrap the cables up. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
We got Myles. All right, guys. Raise your hands if you have questions for Myles. Let's get started with Ken McGuire. All right, Ken, we'll come back to you. Oh, you're there. Okay, go ahead, Ken.
All good with you, Myles?
Hey, Ken, how are you, bro?
I'm good. A couple of quick questions for you. We've spoken since your fight against Anthony Pettis in May. At the time, you told me that it wasn't, or it didn't seem like the real you in there. We didn't get to see the real you. Decision making was off. What kind of Myles Price are we going to be seeing against Jeremy Stephens on Friday night?
The more authentic martial artist, calm, cool, collected, making really good rational decisions in stressful situations. Nothing's really changed in regards to the preparation between from the last competition and this one. It simply came down to when I went over and analyzed it, just pretty much freezing in certain scenarios for not being in that stressful situation in a long time, So I think shaking off that little bit of not being in there for a while has really been a huge help. And it's been a big difference between the training before the last competition and this one too. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting in there and displaying some skills and having a great time.
With that in mind, then it is a fairly quick turnaround for you. You go from fighting in May to fighting in June. You came out of the Pettis fight relatively unscathed. Given given where things are in the standings, does that give you a bit more scope to push on maybe physically a bit more this time out? I know when we spoke back before your Pettis fight, we're kind of talking about fight management, and it's come up with other fighters as well, where you're conscious that it is a season, that you got to look after the body, you're conscious of damage and that kind of thing. But is there a thought that you might be a bit more physically imposing here?
I think that definitely plays a factor for sure. I mean, my opponent on Friday has gone through a tough 3-round war, so he may be bringing a little bit of the old energy and durability bar has gone down possibly, whereas I still got a bit of a shakeout, but there was no real damage or anything like that, and it suits me to have a quick turnaround. Like, how could it not suit any real athlete to be more consistent? The more you're in that was the issue with the last competition, and again, I've said this in a couple of interviews, there's no excuses. Everybody brings in something into a competition that will potentially be holding them back a little bit. For me, it was just not being in there in a long time, so there's only 3 things that happen when you're in your nervous system's in that state. It's fight, flight, freeze, and you're locked into a cage, so you can't flight. So it's your nervous system, even though I mentally prepared for it very well, it just wasn't used to that feeling in there. So now it's used to that feeling. So I'm for sure expecting a lot more fluid and entertaining performance, because that's what I want. I really want to get in there and just have a great time and be my authentic self as a martial artist. And I feel like that in regards to season and the continuation of fights, it's played into my favor a little bit in regards to just damage from the first round. So yeah.
We heard from Clay Collard earlier. He reckoned that Anthony Pettis got the easy man, got his quick 6 in the first of the lightweight side of things. How do you think Jeremy Stephens might see this one? He's been there for quite a few years. Does the cornering have a bearing on things for the week, for the fight? Who's going to be in that corner, or does it matter?
Of course it matters. I've brought over my longtime coach, friend and teammate, Mick Brennan. He's been in my corner multiple times and he's been with me my whole career. So I'm absolutely delighted to have him in my corner. I'm very confident competing with him in my corner. And I have my sports psychologist there as well, which is also great to have.
And last one for you. How are you finding things in Atlanta this week?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, it's a great place, I have to say. Like, loads of beautiful things to do around here, like the Coca-Cola factories over there. There's the aquarium, a Hall of Fame, and the hotel is amazing. So yeah, love Atlanta. Really hot though.
Well, look at Myles. Very best of luck. Really looking forward to seeing yourself and Jeremy in action on Friday.
Thanks, Ken.
Jonathan
Ramlicon, 5 Reasons Sports. Hey, Myles. Hope all is well, man. You were able to share the smart cage with a veteran of the sport last time with Anthony Pettis. What were you able to learn out of that experience that you're going to be able to take into your next fight?
I think that's valuable experience, to be honest. Just being in with any opponent, I feel, is a valuable experience. But to be in with somebody that's been to the heights that he has been, it's just to download that kind of knowledge and to feel that kind of opponent when you're in there. I think you can really take something from that. So yeah, I'll be bringing every bit of the lessons I learned from my last competition into this fight. So yeah.
Now, you're going to have another veteran opponent who's had a long tenure in the UFC, but he's a lot more known for his hands rather than his grappling. How do you plan on incorporating your ground game to get a path to success during this fight?
I'm a great striker too, and I didn't get to display that in my last competition. So I feel like that and that's something that I kind of rushed into a little bit, I think, with the takedown. So at the start of the fight, so I feel like a little bit more of a feeling out process is good for me. Everybody has their strengths. I mean, when you're at this level, everybody's good everywhere. So I wouldn't say Jeremy's a bad grappler. I'd say he has good grappling too. So and I have great striking too. So it just comes into how do you utilize and make the right decisions at the right time.
Should be a fun one regardless. And last one from me, man. It's your first season in the PFL. How do you feel your body is responding to that season format? I know you talked about having the advantage of that quick turnaround. How is your body feeling in between these fights?
It feels great, to be honest with you. You just have to change your training format a little bit. So as opposed to training up towards a peak, more so kind of like maintaining my peak and focusing a lot on recovery and choosing my sessions wisely. So yeah, it's been fine for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Myles, and good luck Friday.
Thank you.
Salvador.
Hey, Myles, Sal Garcia with Punch Media. So, as mentioned before from the other guys, you've come into the organization and taken on 2 really tough fights back to back. Do you seek out these matchups, or is it just anyone, anytime?
Anyone, anytime, really. I'm a martial artist, so whoever they throw in front of me, I'll fight.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Myles while we have him here?
Nope, but his beard looks great.
That's great. It's good. It's good sign.
All right, guys. Thank you, Myles. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, guys. That was great. Thank you.
I like the setup. Let's see what's on.
I don't mind it. No, he's just not. This is a good gift.
Yeah, someone give me. One weekend.
Yeah, it's behind the mirror. The mirror comes down. It's sweet, right? That's sweet. It's a sweet, sweet. Oh, yeah, actually can. When's the venue? I was thinking, find it.
No way. It's sort of like stuff.
I could be wrong. Yeah, just look at JBL part. So I've got the mid-size one and the very large one. Like 1100 watts and 500. That one's like probably Alex, what's going on, you? What's going on, man?
The Yush.
Yeah.
How's the new film playing?
Jess.
That's
$500.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I think the small one is like 150.
Is it? So the big one that I bought, I mean, it's like, mid-size, like this big, and I've got the one that's like this big
Also same brand?
as you know, two bigger party boxes.
Same brand?
Yeah, party box, JBL.
Yeah, like it was like this brand I'm like it just came out of nowhere.
JBL? No, they've been around forever.
And they took over like
No, they just turn much higher quality. No, but they do a lot of stuff.
Are they affiliated with some other partners?
They bought a few smaller brands that got better because of it.
Yeah, like
JBL's great.
Is he here, Tom? I hope you're just a minute.
I love
We're just about a minute away, guys. So fancy with my button.
Mrs. Announcer.
She's got a button.
I got a button. That's true.
Is it on?
Nope.
So here's the deal. The older ones, we did just push to talk. But the new ones are latching. I'm pretty sure I can open that up and you can turn it. But if you like it like that, it's okay.
Yeah.
If you want to push it and hold it down to talk, I can probably make that up. Sucks, dude. You're like there to like 70% of that. Not like straight back in. Then I saw the light. I was like, ah. Tanya, we had a rusty start, girl.
Yeah, we did.
It's okay. We're back. Yeah, we have this room the entire time.
Did you have
set it?
No,
up.
but like this week. Sound.
Jonathan, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Awesome. Jonathan Ramlakan, 5 Reasons Sports. Hey, Josh, this is your first fight here in the PFL regular season. Just your thoughts on the PFL as a whole, as well as the regular season format and the $1 million prize.
I think it's cool. I think it's something new. It's something that I feel like I could build with, and we could grow together, with the new organization and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're currently sitting undefeated 8-0 as a pro. What do you feel like you've been doing right to stay undefeated? And what do you feel like you need to continue to do entering the PFL as a fighter?
I gotta give a lot to my team. They keep me in check. From my father, my coach, down the line to all the guys in the background work, man. They all support each other, and we try to just build our career patiently. And then when we got to take the chance, we'll make that jump. So I think that's been a big help for my career. And yeah, man, I think I don't really got to change anything, just more maybe add some stuff and tweak some things here and there. But I think what we're doing is perfectly good.
Yeah, man. And last one for me, you had a fight in the Challenger Series, which earned you a contract to be in this position. How will chasing a finish for the contract transfer over to chasing a finish for points to make the playoffs this year?
That's just the way I fight in general. I'm always looking for the finish. So I don't think anything changes from the Contender Series to this fight. Hopefully the guy doesn't grab the cage and fish hook me. But other than that, and it's the same mission every time. Try to get the finish, don't force it, but just let the fight develop and it'll come.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you. Good luck this Friday, and hopefully no fish hooking or fence grabbing.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Salvador.
Hey, Josh, Sal Garcia with Punch You Media. So obviously, you're undefeated. You were just the second LFA double champion in the organization's history. Do you play into breaking records and trying to build up accolades, or is it all just part of the journey?
We like to say that the decisions were chose a long time ago. We made these decisions a long time ago, and of course things change here and there. But yeah, man, who doesn't like doing new things and being double champ and breaking accolades and stuff like that? That's what it's all about, pushing the limits. So I'm all for that stuff.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim Barcelone.
Hey, thank you, Josh. I'm first just curious. Hey, I'm curious with the bearded warrior, man. Speaking of fishing, you got that bearded look now. What's going on there?
Times change, man. My dad's barbarian, right? So we gotta keep the beards in check. Last time I shaved the beard, I almost got my first loss on my record. So I got to keep the beard and keep the barbarian like it runs in my blood.
Hey, I'm very curious. What happened for you with the Sordi fight? And physically, how do you feel now coming in with the Hamlet fight?
Man, so for the Sordi fight, I prepared for it really good. Same thing with this fight. I just had a little tweak in my shoulder, my AC joint. I fell on my shoulder. Not bad enough to count me out, it was just unfortunate. It was a week out of the fight. So I physically probably couldn't have done anything, but it took me about 3 weeks to get back on the horse. And here we are. And I'm so excited to be here, man. I've been itching to fight. I almost did like 2 camps in one, you could say, so I'm itching.
And then lastly for me, Shoeface, I'm just curious if you did any training with him for this one, because he had fought Hamlet in the PFL season last season. And I don't even know if you take anything away from that because it was so long ago, but what are your thoughts of that?
Yeah, me and Shoeface worked a lot previously before he was in PFL. We've always worked together, but for this particular fight, he worried more about his opponent. His opponent is not so much of a grappler. So fortunately at American Top Team, we have so many training partners that we could make our little group and train and stuff. And if we need to train together, we will. But no, we didn't do much training this time because it's just, he'd rather go fight somebody that's more Bruce Soto's style versus a grappler like myself or anything like that.
All the best, Josh. Thank you as always.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Benjamin.
Hey, Josh. Now, with this PFL regular season debut, are there any tangible differences between the Challenger Series and the regular season in your mind, or is it all just the same? Fights are fights?
Yeah, man, fights are fights. I think to add on to that, like I said, I've helped guys in the previous PFL seasons. So I would always go to the fights to cheer them on, especially when I was at the Hard Rock. So I was always there looking at the format, kind of having that future mindset of, man, this might be the show that I fight for. I always knew it was, PFL or UFC or whatever the case could be. So it was cool to actually be a part of it and be there, watch the fights. So for me, it's all the same. The Challenger Series is just something I think to build up the guys, and it's great. I think it's awesome, but a fight's a fight, right? Get in the cage, get locked up.
Last one for me. Can you detail how important the bond with your father, Conan, has been to your MMA career overall?
Yeah, man. I think everybody could see that. That's a great bond. It's a great team we have. And you see a lot of father and son relationships. Sometimes they're not as great, but my dad is good, man. He's amazing. I'm not the first fighter he's dealt with, so I think he's still learning. We're learning together, but this is definitely a new experience for both of us. And it's amazing, win or lose. The journey is awesome. I love doing it with him, and I could see us going, only the future could tell what's going to happen, but we're going to be side by side always and forever. Probably, most likely we are,
All right. Daniel.
Josh, welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you, brother.
How you liking it here so far?
It's good. It's not that much different than Florida, So we got the hot sun and the humidity, but it's cool. It's cool with me. Better than the dry heat in Arizona.
Listen, you're taking on a guy in Martin Hamlet. He's super strong, super physical. Even in fights that he's lost, he's had a lot of success. How do you think you guys match up?
I think we match up pretty well. On paper too, he's 9-3. I'm 8-0. On paper, it's a good fight. I think the wrestling, cancels out. He's a Greco guy. I'm more of a folk style wrestler. I attack the legs. I attack everywhere. He's a Greco guy. I love Greco. I did a lot of it in college. I was a big thrower. It's going to be a good fight. I just think that I've been, my record doesn't show my experience, man. I just been around it for so long. Just watching the sport MMA grow. I just been around it so long. And I think that's going to be the difference in this fight where, when it's more than just the technique, it's the mindset, just going over there, maybe weathering the storm a little bit. He is a strong guy. And then eventually just taking him to the deep waters where I always like to do, and find the right moment, finish the fight.
Thanks, Josh. Best of luck, man.
Thank you, sir.
Dave. You're on mute, Dave.
Hey, what's up, Josh? How you doing, brother?
What's up, brother?
Man, in Arlington a couple weeks ago, PFL 3, the Challenger Series had a really good night. Even with Carlos Leal defeating, the last year's champion, Ray Cooper. Did that give you a little extra juice? Or like, hey, these Challenger Series, you're part of that crew, that team. Did that give you a little bit of juice going into this weekend's fight?
Yeah, man, I wouldn't say necessarily some juice, but I never count the underdogs out, man. PFL is a growing show. They're going to bring fighters. It's only to get tougher. So I was a little surprised because, Ray Cooper is tough, but man, that Brazilian, he's tough as nails, and he deserved that win right there, and definitely, that's a point for the Challenger Series, if you want to put in that aspect, but of course that's cool to see other guys go there and win, of course I want to be one of them guys too. I will be one of them guys.
For sure, man. Appreciate it. I know Jeremy Stevens is doing the whole hair thing, but I think you got this weekend on lock. I think you got the best hair of the crew,
Yeah, I got a question for you. I was thinking about braiding them, but should I just let it flow? The flow's pretty nice right now.
Let those things flow, my man. You know what I'm saying? Let those things loose.
Let's go. We're going to let it loose.
All right, my man.
Nice.
Good luck.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Any last questions for Josh before we let him go? Jim Barcelona says no braids, by the way. No braids.
Right. Thanks, Jim.
All right.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Hope you had some fun with that one. Definitely.
gotta go get some back.
That's good.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey guys, we're gonna have Olivier up next. So just give me a few minutes and he will be right here.
Godspeed, brother. Godspeed in there.
All right, guys, we have Olivier. Please raise your hand if you have a question. All right, Jonathan.
Hey, Olivier. No, you don't really care much for MMA questions. What's your favorite food after you finish cutting weight?
My favorite food?
After finish cutting weight.
Oh, do you want my meal plan? I just did my meal plan yesterday.
Yeah, I'd love it.
What?
I said I'd love
exactly. I did my meal plan. So the first meal I have, it's wait, is answering for me. So the first meal, it's Japanese kind of breakfast, rice, salmon. The second meal, I think, is gonna be maybe chicken, third meal, something like a steak. And then maybe some grass-fed beef too at the end of the day, and then I'm gonna start again. But it's interesting is the first year that the first fight actually that I have actually a kitchen in my room. I bought this air fryer this week. So I have an air fryer. I have a little how do you call it, like the thing that you put the pan on it. Hot plate. Yeah, okay, hot plate. So I bought a hot plate too. So you can come in my room. I call the restaurant Schulte and have a great meal tomorrow. Tomorrow starting 10 a.m. Yeah. I think it's the best. I think it's the best way to do it. Make your own food. If you don't make your own food, it's always a little bit tricky to find good restaurant. So yeah, that's what I decided to do maybe 2 fights ago.
Awesome. I appreciate you, man, and good luck this Friday.
Yeah, thank you. That was a long answer for a really simple question.
Benjamin.
Hey, Olivier, you said Anthony Pettis' treatment was unfair. Do you believe that the PFL would have handled the situation in the same manner if you or another lightweight was in that position?
I'm not sure to understand. Like, if I was Pettis?
If you, like, let's say, yeah, you were in Anthony's position, do you think that the PFL would have treated you the same way and handled that in the same manner?
Oh, yeah, of course. If I was the biggest name of PFL, I would probably have a easier path. And like I said, I mean, I think it's unfair, but to be honest, I would have done the same thing if I was the PFL. I think I really do think they want the Pettis in the tournament. I do think they want Stephens in the tournament. And I think that's the best way to make PFL grow, to have those two in the tournament. So I do think it's understandable, but I do think it's unfair too, especially for people that, like I said, fought Pettis. I think his name is Myles. I'm not sure. I just saw him, and he's a pretty good, pretty big guy. And to make you wait twice in a month and a half just because Pettis cannot fight the same day as everybody, I think it's pretty unfair to him. And I think it's pretty unfair to Stevie Ray. Let's say Stevie Ray knock Pettis out in the first round. What, he's gonna fight in 3 weeks after that? That makes no sense. I think it's a little bit unfair, but like I said, I think it's understandable. I think the only thing that I really think it's crazy is that Pettis doesn't fight the same day as us. Like, I think it's okay that they have easier path. I mean, they prove themselves. They can have it easy, you know. But for them to fight, for him to fight maybe 2 weeks after or 1 week after, I think it's not fair for his opponent, and I feel bad for them.
Last one for me. You're a frequent flyer, of course, in the crypto space. Can you share some opinions on the current state of Bitcoin and just the market as a whole?
I do think we didn't see the bottom yet, and I do think it's maybe gonna go down a little bit more. But guys, I think shit gonna hit the fan pretty soon. And not just in crypto. I think it happened first in crypto, but I think everything is gonna crumble. So, like, personally, how I see it, do I think Bitcoin's gonna die?
And if the answer is no, I think I'm in for a ride. So I'm just gonna, and I don't think it's gonna die. I don't think Bitcoin is gonna die. So I do think in 5 years it's gonna be a lot more valuable than right now. So it's for me it's an easy bet. But it's understandable that people don't like it since it's so volatile. But truly, right now, I do think that everybody is gonna wake up, and it's gonna be a really hard wake up in the coming months. Yeah,
love it. Best luck, champ.
Daniel.
Olivier, welcome to Atlanta.
Yeah, thank you.
How you liking it here so far?
I really like it. I think I like it better than Arlington. In Arlington, I stayed maybe 2-3 days after the fight, and I feel a little bit bad that this time I won't stay 2-3 days after. I think the table here are pretty good. I saw some restaurants that look crazy good, and yeah, I was thinking about changing my plane tickets to stay maybe one more day and try some restaurant in near. But yeah, the only reason why I don't stay here. It's because the next fight would be like in a month and a half, something like this, which is crazy.
You definitely should try out the restaurants here. They're serious. But man, how does the heat here compare to the cold in Montreal? I mean, is it like a culture shock at all for you?
No. Like in Montreal, it's really cold, but it's really hot too. So we had like something, I think it was 30, maybe, I don't know, maybe a month ago. So it was really hot a month ago. And right now in Montreal, it's just a perfect temperature. But I do like when it's hot. I really do like it. So no, it's not really, like I don't find it crazy, to be honest.
Now, Olivier, Atlanta has a long history with classic fights. I mean, we're talking about Rashad Evans versus Chuck Liddell, Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway, Israel Adesanya versus Kelvin Gastelum. Is it exciting for you to fight in a place where people truly love and appreciate MMA?
I don't know. I never thought about that, but I guess so.
And lastly, man, what's interesting about this matchup with Raush is that in your last fight with Natan Schulte, you got off to a fantastic start. Things kind of got dicey towards the end. And with Raush, it's the exact opposite. He got off to a slow start, and then he finished strong. How do you kind of feel about that in terms of how you guys match up?
Well, I think Schulte was a trickier fighter. And I think Schulte is the same thing as Raush. He tend to finish really, really strong, and I think Schulte is even better than Manfio to do that. So I think Schulte was a little bit trickier. Is a little bit trickier, but the hard thing with Manfio is stealing round. I think that's the big thing I have to be careful that he doesn't steal too much round.
Thanks, Olivier, and best of luck, man.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm gonna read a question to you.
Okay.
You posted on Instagram 1 month ago that you cannot believe you're fighting again in 6 weeks. Knowing you're going against the champion, how was your mentality just days before the fight?
Oh, fuck yeah. Like, I posed that because I thought it was crazy, but I was exciting about that too, you know. I think you have to shift your mentality, like I said in the last interview. What I like, it's right now I just want to fight, so the fight is done, so I can fight again. So it's kind of weird, yeah, that's it. I think I'm just exciting right now. I'm excited to fight this fight, and then right away go back. Maybe have a week of vacation, and then where we go back to training. So I think it's really exciting. So yeah, I would say I feel excited about that. And when I said I can believe I'm fighting in 6 weeks, I was believing it, by the way. But it was more a figure of speech. Is that how you say that? Yeah. But I just think it's crazy. I think it's great. I really like it.
Awesome. Dave.
What's up, my guy? With Raush being the defending champion and, your goals going into this season, did you foresee you guys are going to be matched up sooner or later? And how excited that you guys are matched up in a couple days?
Yeah, well, excited. I'm more excited about just fighting, but I do think we should have been in the tournament, both of us. I think in the best case scenario for me would have been to fight him in the tournament, but it's a tournament, so I'm gonna fight everybody. Everybody that's good, I'm gonna fight them. So who care? I fight him now or I fight him 2 months after. I don't really care. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to fight him. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Appreciate your time, my man. Good skill on Friday.
Thank you. That was a weird thank you.
All right. Thank you, Olivier. Appreciate your time today. You're all done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.
All right, guys. Champ is here.
Champ is here.
If you have a question for Antonio, go ahead and raise your hand. Let's start with Jonathan, please.
Jonathan Ramlicon, 5 Reasons Sports. And Antonio, although you're the number 1 seed, this division brings a lot more finishes than most. With that, do you feel like you need to chase a finish, or do you think you're going to let the fight come to you?
I think I should see what fight gonna present, for sure I'll look for a finish, but I don't want to force it. So let's see what's gonna present, and for sure I'll be there to take it.
Awesome, man. And you still have yet to take a loss here in the PFL. What do you feel like has been the biggest reason for your success here?
Man, I think a lot of things together, to be honest, not just one thing, like the going up for 205 was definitely a good decision. I fighting with no pressure, my mind, you know what I mean? I think I'm just living a good moment in my life too. We found the right way to train, that really fits for me. I think everything that we've been like working in the gym, is working out at the cage. So I think that's it, a lot of things together though.
Awesome, my man. Hey, appreciate you and good luck this Friday.
Thank you so much, man. Let's go.
Benjamin.
Hey, Antonio, bumping elbows with the best. Recently, we saw you hanging out with Neymar Jr. How was that? And have you known him for a long period of time, or was that your first time meeting him?
Oh, yeah, we always played together. We got a good friend in common. We have a lot of friends in common. And we always play like Counter-Strike together. You know what I mean? I love Counter-Strike. He loves it too, play some poker before. And so we always playing something together. And was, man, really nice. He's a big star and a great human being. So it's always great to be with him.
Now, the D4U brand does exceptional work for thousands of immigrants. Can you detail what it means to represent them and all the other immigrants on the biggest stages of MMA?
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
So you work with the D4U brand, which I believe does immigration work and green cards for athletes and different professionals. Can you just detail what it means to represent them and then immigrants as a whole?
Oh, yeah. I truly believe they work, that's why I'm working with him. Now my process, to get my passport, and became American too. And I think this is very important, all the work that they have been doing during these years, making a lot of people like achieve their dreams, like to come here, and a lot of people change their lives, coming to the US, it's a country with a lot of opportunities. Unfortunately, Brazil is not in a good moment, economically, politically talking. So you see a lot of people like trying to move, to US and make their lives better.
Love it. Best of luck, man.
Max. Max, I can't hear you.
I am muted. I'm so sorry about that. How you doing, Antonio? This is Max going from the Going Live Network. Thank you so much for taking the time, man.
No problem. My pleasure.
Obviously, this weekend, Joanna retired from the MMA game. I just wanted to see if you had a reaction when you found out that news, and if there was anything specific that you were able to learn from her, being around her day in and day out.
Always see her in a great mood. You know what I mean? She just text me on the Instagram, said, let's go, this week. Surprised me. I didn't know she was about to retire. She's a great fighter, great human being too. And I think, she can become a champion again, but I think the desire of become a mother is bigger, and I'm with her, whatever she wants, like I'm with her. I'm going to support her decisions, she's a great, training partner, love to be around her.
That's awesome. Yeah, legend of the sport as well. So definitely understandable. And then just to kind of switch topics a little bit about your fight. What do you like about this fight with Bruce, and what do you feel you have to neutralize in his game to get the victory?
I think it's a great matchup. He's pretty well-rounded. He's pretty good in Muay Thai. I think his background is Muay Thai, I think, but he also have some submissions on his cartel. So I need to be careful in every aspect of the game. You know what I mean? So will force me to give my best, whatever happens, like I need always to be attention and, give my best inside the cage. So he gonna, he pushes me to, to my best.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, champ, for the time, and good luck on Friday.
Thanks, man.
Salvador.
Hey, Antonio, Sal Garcia with Punch Media here. Having finished 3 of your last 5 opponents, you've really solidified yourself as one of the best light heavyweights in the world. How much confidence do you bring going into the fight, knowing that you've consistently showcased your talents at the highest level?
Oh man, yeah, this is good. That's something that changed on my mind too. I'm feeling a lot of confidence now. Especially after the belt. After a tough fight against actually, all this role in MMA, gave me a lot of confidence. I learned a lot, and I think I feel the way of winning. I think I said in the past, like, not forcing things, but let things present itself, and don't let these moments, like, let it go. You know what I mean? I think these, I don't know, something changed in my mind last year. I think changing the way helped me a lot with this, because I think the diet, a strong diet messes with your emotional and stuff, and now I'm feeling like way happier, confident, and ready for the fight.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to read you a question from Jerson Montesino from LLO and JMC Productions. Once again, you're fighting a Brazilian. How emotional or special is it for you to keep defending your legacy and the road to a back-to-back finals against your fellow countrymen?
Doesn't change much, actually. I fought a lot of nice guys in this role. If you see here, it's a great environment. You ended up like finding the guys in the breakfast, in the lunch, whatever. And everybody's cool with each other, either Brazilian or not. So doesn't change much. Actually, I got my goal. My goals. And my achievements. I know I want to become a champion again. So to be honest, does not change much for fighting, another Brazilian or whatever he's from.
And who do you believe is the biggest threat for your back-to-back $2 million?
Oh, wow. Oh, there's a lot of tough guys, to be honest. You know what I mean? It's hard to tell because all of them, they're all tough, The first guy that comes to my mind now is Brucey because my next fight.
All right. Daniel, please.
Antonio, welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. What a nice place here.
Yeah, you enjoying yourself?
I love it.
That's great to hear. You know, Atlanta has a long history with classic fights. You know, Rashad Evans versus Chuck Liddell, Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway, even Israel Adesanya versus Kelvin Gastelum. Is it exciting for you to fight in a place like this where MMA is truly loved and appreciated?
Yeah, for sure. Especially like we in front of like the parking here. There's a lot about like the Olympic Games and stuff. So it's a pretty good environment, you know.
Antonio, you've been fighting for almost 10 years and you've barely taken any damage. You've got such longevity in this sport. Do you give a lot of that credit to your jiu-jitsu style?
Definitely, yes. You don't get hurt a lot, huh? During the training, jiu-jitsu or during the fight, when you take the guys to the ground, you know, it's hard for the guys to like find some space to beat me. In my, you know, I think my whole game is kind of like make me safe, you know. I'm not the guy who brawls, who goes like in a dog fight, whatever, you know. I trying to keep it technical, you know what I mean? And once I'm in the ground, you know, it's hard for somebody to make damage, you know, if you're in the bottom.
Now, you're fighting at 205 pounds these days. Everyone knows you used to fight at 185. You're not cutting as much weight as you used to. You've been enjoying some picanha at the Brazilian churrascarias, my man?
Definitely, man. You know, I love picanha, you know, I love churrasco. The Brazilian barbecue is like, I just love it. You know, I think meat is like churrasco is my favorite meal, I think, you know what I mean? So for sure, I cannot eat a lot, you know, but I definitely enjoy a little bit of it.
Now, there used to be a time where the UFC was the be all end all. And when someone gets released from the UFC, it's almost like their dream is crushed. You kind of show that, man, there are opportunities outside of the UFC. So what kind of advice would you give to young fighters about taking those opportunities outside the UFC and knowing that they can have a place to fight?
Yeah, man, to be honest, like outside the UFC was even better for me, you know. You can tell, right? So just keep going, man. Believe on your dream, believe that you want to achieve something. You know, UFC is like, for sure, it was great for me in some point. You know, there is a lot of media, you know, behind it. You know, I think the most famous, you know, event, but there is a lot of like another great event, you know, like PFL for me is even better than UFC, way better, you know, in every respect, to be honest. And man, you know, for these guys who leave UFC or you know, think it's done, man, it's not done at all. You know what I mean? Like keep training, keep believing, and that's it. Let's go.
And lastly, I have a bit of a personal question. So obviously, you're one of the most well-respected black belts in all of MMA. Now, I just recently got promoted to purple belt. What kind of advice would you give me to just stay the course and keep going to eventually one day be a black belt like you?
Oh, congrats, man, by the way.
Obrigado.
Bro, I think it's like train smart, you know, do a lot of drills. I think drills make me a lot better, you know. Yeah, I think drills is the key, and be surrounded by good people, you know, nice training partners. This is definitely going to help you out a lot.
Thank you so much, man, and best of luck this week.
Thank you, bro.
Jim Varchelone.
Thank you, champ. I'm just curious, curious for you. What's it like that first fight that you had in that card was amazing. This is exceptional too. What's it like being on this card? Not only your fight, but the other fights too. And the ATT guys on this card. My gosh.
There's a lot of ATT guys, and 5 guys, I think. 5 guys, yes.
What are your thoughts of this card and your fight coming up?
Man, I think it's a great card, you know. Sadly, I'll be like warming up for my fight. So unfortunately, I won't be able to watch, you know, all the fights. I'd love to, you know, but for sure I'm gonna watch it like after the event. You know, it's really great, especially like the environment that we created here, the energy is pretty good because there's a lot of bodies here, a lot of friends in here. We all training together, we all supporting each other. So this is really great for us, emotionally, this is just perfect.
And Champ, what is it like comparing last year going into this year? As far as just training, preparing, dealing with everything as a champion, has it been a little different or about the same?
No, it's different for sure. Coming here as a champion is always like a big thing, it's always different. I'm more confident, I get used to the PFL system, how they work, like fighting like every 2 months. I think now I get used to that and I'm way more confident, especially coming here as a champion.
And lastly, for me, Josh is on the card. He's got this great beard too that he has now. I'm wondering what your thoughts of the beard and also your thoughts of Josh as a fighter.
Oh man, Josh is great. We train together, me, him, Omari, we all train together. He got a great beard, as his dad. He also has it. I rooting for him. I think he's gonna do a great fight. I fought Hamlet too, so we talk a lot of, we talk a little bit about him. Kona also knows him a lot because he studied a lot like Hamlet for my fight, so he knows his, good, good and bad sides, where he can find the way to the victory. So I am excited for this fight too,
Yeah, as you would know, you beat Hamlet on your way to that championship and $1 million. Congrats, champ. Go get him.
Thank you so much, man. Let's go.
Awesome. Thank you, Antonio.
That's it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. Next turn.
So, glasses off, right?
Sure. Yeah, it don't matter.
Keep it.
All right. Yeah, you're good.
Might reflect because it has like a blue light thing.
Yeah. All right. We have Alex Martinez here. If you have a question for Alex, please raise your hand. Jonathan, kick us off.
Hey Alex, Jonathan Ramlicon, 5 Reasons Sports. Last season, you were able to get the win in your first fight before losing the second fight. What do you need to do differently this season to avoid dropping the second fight this year?
Well, a lot of people may not know this, but last year actually I didn't have a training camp before I started the whole season. It was a very, very fast turnaround. I was, on a trip in Vancouver, and all of a sudden, PFL calls me to be an alternate. I take it. Sure enough, the guy dropped out, and then I'm part of the season, so I get to go into the fight, as prepared as I am. And once you start the PFL season, there is no time to get ready. You just it's one after the other. But of course, in this time, I came already. We seen on my first fight, the difference of my approach in the fight in comparison to my first fight, even last year. I edged that fight. That wasn't a clean fight. This fight last time was a clean fight. So I'm a lot more prepared. I had a good preparation before the season start, and once the season goes on, it's all just how do you say? It's just carrying on, right? I mean, doing the little adjustments depending on the opponent, but if you're not ready for the season from the beginning, it's really tough. You'll be ready all the way through.
Yeah, that's true. Now, your opponent, Clay, has had a lot of success, especially on the feet. Where do you see the advantages in your style versus his?
I'll be honest with you, man. I think my standing is very good. I wouldn't count out my standing. Of course, I seem to show that I'm good everywhere, and the ground seems to be somewhere people count me on a lot more. But man, I trust my striking. I trust my ground. I trust everything. So I'm gonna go there, feel it out, and just feel the fight. I mean, of course, I know he's very dangerous on the boxing side of fighting, but at the same time, I trust my striking. So yeah.
Now, with him being such a heavy boxer, being heavy on that lead leg, do you plan to attack that lead leg, or has that been an extra game plan going into this camp?
I'm planning to attack everything, man. Like the leg, the head, the body, just everything. So whatever is there, I'm gonna take it. I'm an opportunist.
Awesome. I appreciate your time, my man, and good luck this Friday.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Take care.
Dave.
How you doing, Alex? To me, the PFL lightweight division's the most limelight. A lot of big names, really tough division. What does it mean to you to you have one win, one more win will get you in the postseason, really kind of catapult your name into those bigger names of Pettis and Stevens and Collards and stuff of that nature?
Yeah, it's a big season. I mean, a lot of big names came into PFL this year, and even last year, there was a lot of names that were not as known because of just media stuff. But at the same time, these guys were, high level fighters. I would rank them easily in the top 15 for worldwide rankings. So, anyways, I got to fight those guys last year, and it's this fight is no different. I get to fight another top contender, top fighter from the PFL season, and then I'm excited, man. These are good opportunities for my career, for myself, for my team, for my family. So it's we're taking it with all the positivity to going forward.
Absolutely. And Alex, who's in your corner Friday night?
So I'm gonna thank goodness my coach got to cross the border, so he'll be there, Bill Mahood. Then my father, Luis Martinez, he's always in my corner, and as well as Syndicate Coach John, so from Syndicate MMA back in Vegas.
There you go. Good skill, my man. Good skill Friday.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Salvador.
Hey, Alex, Salvador from Punchy Media. So you're one of the youngest guys on this card, and you're in the main event. Have you taken a second to take this all in and kind of learn from the veterans you share the card with?
You want to talk in Spanish or? You know what? Okay, it doesn't matter. Anyways, so man, I learned a lot from every single fighter. Last year I got to learn a lot. I understand really the level of PFL. When I came in, I wasn't 100% sure where I stack up with all these guys, and going through the first season, I was like, okay, you know what, I belong here. So there's just some little tweaks that I gotta do, and going forward. But man, I'm really excited for this season again. I get to show off more of my skills that I couldn't really show off properly last year, just because of how the season play out. But at the same time, I learned a lot from all of those guys. They taught me a lot, and they show a lot of spots that I needed to work on. So I went back to the gym and work on them, and I'm ready for this one now. So
awesome. I'll work on my Spanish for next time.
Okay, I thought you knew Spanish, so some of
that. No.
All good, man.
Daniel.
Alex, bienvenidos a Atlanta.
Muchas gracias.
¿Cómo te gusta aquí?
Me gusta mucho. Es una ciudad diferente. No estoy acostumbrado a las ciudades muy grandes porque es mucho concreto, ¿verdad? Pero es muy húmedo, es muy lindo y se nota que tiene mucha historia.
¿En dónde aprendiste inglés?
En Canadá. Cuando era pequeño, tenía 14 años, mi padre se movió en Canadá, trajo a toda la familia y de ahí comencé a aprender el inglés.
So, Alex, like you just mentioned, Atlanta has a long history with classic fights. I mean, we're talking Rashad Evans versus Chuck Liddell, Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway, even Israel Adesanya versus Kelvin Gastelum. Is it exciting for you to fight in a place like this where MMA is truly loved and appreciated?
Of course, man. It's always amazing to be able to kind of like relive history in a way, knowing that the people that we look up to in the sport, got to fight and say, okay, man, I'm right there, I'm fighting where these guys are fighting. So yeah, it feels great to be to go in places, going to, big cities where that have a lot of history, not only just in the MMA world, but like worldwide history. Right? I mean, a lot of great things happen here, and then a lot of horrible things too, right? So you can tell that it's a lot of history just walking on those streets, right? Like it's been here for a bit. So yeah.
How much confidence did it give you to beat an established veteran like Stevie Ray?
Yeah, you know what? It's every single time you gain confidence from every victory, even every defeat as well, depending on how you lost a fight, you get to gain a lot of confidence. Right? So they're like, oh man, he's probably not there anymore. But it's not like that. It's just that the level that I bring to the table is higher. So it's a lot. It's a big accomplishment for our team. We knew going to this fight we were like, man, we're fighting Stevie Ray. You know, a lot of the people that know him know him. The people that are casuals, you know, they're just like, Stevie Ray, who is he? You know, but we know who we beat, and we are very confident, and but never take anybody lightly, right?
I mean, Stevie Ray knows what it means to have a 5-fight win streak inside the UFC. So did that kind of let you know that you belong here with the best?
I already knew I belonged last year when I got to fight my first fight against the man that got second place, Lloyd Rajabov. After I fought that one, I was like, okay, you know what? I belong here. I need to have a mindset of a champion now, and you know, go as on. And right away after that, I was supposed to fight Pettis. Pettis dropped out the day before, and they offered me the fight against Natan Schulte. We didn't back away. We took it, and guess what, man? He's the champion from 2019. We went for it. It was a very close fight. To be honest, thought I won, but at the same time, you know, it was a very close fight. Could have gone either way. So yeah, he ended up getting the victory. But I knew, okay, you know what? There are just little tweaks that I must do to my game, and then, you know, we're golden. So yeah.
Now, Clay Collard has been in there with Max Holloway, with Anthony Pettis, with Jeremy Stevens. On paper, this is considered a huge step up in competition for you. Is it?
It was given, and I'm glad that they gave it to me, and it's taken. So yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
And lastly, how's the MMA scene in Paraguay?
It's growing. Of course, you know, it's still ways to go, but it's growing a lot. We have a lot of future. The youth is, you know, really getting there now. You can see a lot of like high level kickboxing. They're trying to bring jiu-jitsu from Brazil. So it's growing. I haven't been there yet, but I do follow a lot of MMA fighters, and we stay in contact a lot. So yeah, it is growing a lot, which is good. And now that, you know, I get to push that even farther forward for them to get motivated and to go on ahead and, you know, pursue this career, right? This profession.
Thanks a lot, Alex. Buena suerte.
Thanks, man. Muchas gracias. Cuídate.
All right, Alex, all done. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Cool. He'll just go right next door. I know, right? Yeah, next room over, you'll do the live drum portion. After that. Ready? All right, y'all. You can sit right over there. We got Jeremy with us. So please raise your hand if you have questions for Jeremy. Ben the Bane, go ahead and start us off.
Jeremy, hey man, hope you've been well. Bosley's been a boost for many men and women. I was hoping you could give an update on the hair upstairs and how the products transformed your dome.
Yeah, it's good. It's Bosley's great. It's a big confidence booster, fixes your hair, it gives you all the things that you're needing. And in your hair transplant went very well. People out there and helped me out. It was amazing. The good group of people. And thanks for my team for getting it done for me. It's been awesome, and I'm excited.
It's looking full, looking fresh. You recently posted a photo of Mike Tyson on your Instagram. I was curious, do you feel similarities between your style and his? I mean, huge power punchers. Did you ever think I'm in that same vein of Mike?
Yeah, I think me and Mike Tyson have a lot of similarities. Just natural born fighters, grew up rough, and I like it, you know. And then that Rick James, you know, can't forget about the Rick James was right next to him too that I posted. So a little bit of the funk, a little bit of that, you know. I like the funk. I like that. I like the both mix. You know, it's a good vibe, and then also, you know, it's like it's yin and yang. You got a good and a bad side, and I love both those sides, and I'm very well capable of tapping into both and utilizing it.
And last one for me, obviously Atlanta, great place to be. How do you like being in Georgia? And has there been anything fun during fight week that you've been able to go do?
Hot Atlanta is a real thing, man. It's very hot out here. I step outside. I do a little, throw a little baseball around and move around a little bit. And man, I'm basically on weight. Love it here. Love the people. Love the energy. You got the college Hall of Fame right next door. A lot of college athletes around here. Good vibes, man. Very, very good vibes.
Great to hear. Best of luck, man.
Thank you, sir.
Salvador.
Hey, Jeremy, Salvador Garcia from Punching Media. You've never been known to back down from a war, as was evident in your last fight. Do you enter the cage with that sort of warrior mindset, or do you attribute it more to your style?
You know, I mean, I think you ask any fighter, they'd rather just get one punch and done. But you know, you train and prepare for the best of the best. When you're facing a guy like Clay Collard and some of the best of the world, you prepare yourself in that sense. And I knew it was going to be a tough fight. So, you know, people were asking like, was anything surprise you? No, you know that some guys are just going to be able to take it, going to be there all night, and you just got to do your best to not get hit them often, and get out there with your hand raised. Unfortunately, it wasn't my night, but I feel like going forward, you know, being healthy and train the way that I want to train and do the things that I've done this camp. Going forward, I could speak with my actions, and if we run that back, I'll be the guy to make the adjustments and end up on top at the end of this.
Awesome. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you, bro.
Max.
How you doing, Jeremy? This is Max Going from the Going Live Network. Thanks so much for taking the time, man. Really appreciate it. Just had a quick question about the fight coming up. What about Myles' game do you think you need to neutralize most importantly to get the victory?
Neutralize his head, his body. You know, I'm fucking swing for the fences, and that'll be that. You know, we'll see how he reacts, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Then just a quick follow-up. This is your second fight at lightweight in the PFL. Just wondering if you see any differences in the camp. You feeling better? Can you just talk to me a little bit about the division so far?
Yeah, I would say I'm 100% healthy in this camp. I say that I just fought 2 months ago instead of fighting one time a year the past 2 years, having that dangling over my head with the UFC, not being able to get the fights and perform the way that I want to perform. I've been competing since I was 16 years old, where I was fighting 5 times a year to the big show in the UFC, fighting 3 times a year. I love staying consistent. You know, with any discipline, consistency is the best. I feel like that was a big boost of confidence that last fight. Immediately, my coaches could tell, like right after the fight, I knew what I needed to work on. I'm healthy. I was able to train the way that I wanted to train in this camp, incorporate runs, get back to my endurance runs, my long distance runs, and do it all. I feel a lot better this camp. I'm actually coming in lighter. I'm coming in faster. And the things that I worked on were just specifically designed to boost my confidence and keep me fresh and healthy going into this fight. So enough said. You just watch what I do on Friday. You guys are going to enjoy it. You're in for a treat.
Yeah, I personally can't wait, man. Thank you so much for the time and good luck.
Thank you, brother.
All right, I'm going to read you a question from Joshan from LLO and JMC Productions. Coming from a loss in a hard fight, how is your mentality and strategy to enter the playoffs?
Confident, feel like picked up a lot of fans, a lot of people behind me still support me, and I feel great. You know, like I said, I'm healthy. I feel like that was just a small portion of me going into that fight. You know, I wasn't able to train the way that I wanted to train, be 100% healthy. No excuses. He came out on top, and I'm a good guy that can take data like a Fortune 500 company, and I can make adjustments. I'm very good at adjusting on the fly. I'm very good at adjusting minute by minute, round by round. The Charles Darwin theory. It's not the smartest, or it's not the strongest or the smartest. It's the person willing to adapt to the changes. And that's me. I'm willing to adapt. I'm very adaptable, and I've been making the changes. And, you know, like I said, my actions are going to show up Friday night, and you're going to see it.
Awesome. And I know you already touched on this, but in the UFC, you fought 1 to 3 times a year. Now you're going into your second fight in almost a month and a half. How is that going to affect you positively or negatively?
Positively, it's best. It's like getting up to bat. Like, you know, you're up the first inning, you may have struck out, but boom, you're up the second inning. You know, you may have grounded out. Boom, you're up again. You're in the third. Now you're starting to get the timing. You're wearing on people. I do better with consistency, to be honest. I like fighting. I like being. I mean, take it like, you know, fighting once a year financially. That's a hell of a hit. You know, I have a family to provide for. You know, when they're like, oh, you know, maybe a fight here, fight there, you're training, you're preparing, fight falls through, you're training, you're preparing, and it's just getting longer and longer. And you're like, what the hell am I training for? You know, you're not getting anything. I knew coming over here was going to be the best choice for me and my family with the $1 million dangling at the end. But I was like, you know what? I do my best when I fight back to back. I've literally fought 2 weeks after, you know, I fought weekly before growing up at 16. in main events, I fought back to back. You know, I've gotten the call from the big man, and boom, back at it. So I think consistency is very good. I'm back up to the plate again, and I'm still swinging for the fences.
Awesome. Thank you. Daniel.
Jeremy, welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you, brother.
Listen, man, you have a long history in the sport, and Atlanta also has a long history of classic fights. I mean, you got some of the most vicious knockouts in the history of the sport that happened here, like Rashad Evans versus Chuck Liddell. And then you also got some of the best fights of all time, like Kelvin Gastelum versus Israel Adesanya and Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. Is it exciting to fight in a place like this where MMA is truly loved and appreciated?
Yeah, I love Atlanta. I love the hip hop down here. You know, Ludacris, T.I., you know, it's like, move, bitch, get out the way. We're coming. You know, I'm coming. So move. Myles is gonna pay the price.
Jeremy, you've literally been in there with every single big name in this sport. You fought killer after killer, and on paper, this seems like a step down or even a tune-up fight almost. Do you view it like that, or do you see a young, hungry kid in front of you that's trying to make a name off you?
Yeah, I think at this point, you know, you get older, you got these young guys that are like, oh man, if I take out this guy, I'm the fucking man. So I love proving him wrong. And you know, he's it's a big step up for him for sure. And I'm gonna take care of business come Friday night. I have not taken him lightly. I've continued my training. I literally was back in the gym on Monday after that Clay Collar fight. I just had bruises on my face. Like my legs weren't hurt. I was able to train the way that I wanted to train, make some adjustments, and, you know, again, take a big boost of confidence. You know, I haven't fought in over a year, and I just fought the best guy. I was able to do that. Imagine when I'm a lot more consistent, a lot more dialed in, a lot more in tune with that approach at the plate inside that cage. So that's what I'm bringing in here is a lot of confidence, a lot of pain that I'm going to be utilizing. You know, I want to be fucking very mean to this guy. I need to take him out. You know, I have no choice. You know, if he doesn't die, it doesn't count.
Do you think we see the classic Jeremy Stephens vicious, brutal KO here?
You're going to see something very sweet. You're going to see a very skilled, sharp Stephens come Friday night. So expect a fantastic, freaky fucking Friday on Friday, and enjoy.
And Jeremy, in that last fight, you were swinging some shots at Clay that, I mean, would have knocked out a rhinoceros. Were you surprised that the dude just like wouldn't go down from those shots?
No, not really. You know, he's a boxer. He can take the shots. You know, a lot of those shots, guys do go down. I knew Clay's tough. I know he was going to be there. I feel like that if I just tighten things up, sharpen things up a little bit, bring a little bit more cardio, it'll add a little bit more volume to my game. You know, if I would have thrown two more leg kicks, his legs would have been done. You know, I saw him limping off after the fight where I was fully walking back in the gym on Monday. And like I said, I'll be the guy to end up out on top of this. I'll be the guy to make the adjustments. I'll be able to adapt to the changes. And again, you know, I'm excited that the PFL gives me an opportunity like this. I got to get right back in there and entertain the fans on a fantastic, fun Friday. So sit back and enjoy, fellas. You guys are going to like it.
And Jeremy, lastly, man, on paper, you've been fighting since 2005. Now, I know that's just on paper and it's actually been longer than that, but I mean, that's almost 20 years, man. I mean, what do you attribute your longevity in the sport to?
I'd say keeping my body healthy, keeping my mental sharp. I do a lot of mental exercises at Choice Center in Las Vegas. I do a lot of emotional intelligence work. I'm constantly, again, you know, not just in fighting, but I'm trying to be a husband, a better father. I have a long history of DNA and my patterns and in my life and my ancestry that I'm trying to regenerate. Not only am I trying to heal, I'm trying to regenerate patterns that, going forward that my kids have a brighter future, that they're set up in the future, and that I can continue to grow, continue to be a light, continue to be love out there for people, and just be an inspiration and be courageous. And that's what I bring to the table when I fight. Is my heart, my passion, and I enjoy it. I'm still having fun, and I keep my body very healthy. Functional patterns is a very big key. Rolling out, I got my boy Rody here that I travel with all over the world. He comes out and you know, does a lot of body work for me, keeps me healthy. You know, he's one of my main guys, because really a lot of people I think skip over the health aspect of the game. You know, like I know how to fight. You take me to 7-Eleven right now, I'll go undefeated until we just decide to quit. That's not a big thing. It's just how is your body, how's your mind feeling when you're going in there, and that was kind of wearing on me the last fight. So I was able to make some mental adjustments, a mental approach. My coach Eric Del Fiero, my whole team behind me on the mental aspect, dialing things in. It's not a lot of big adjustments. It's just big inside the head and make sure that your body's healthy in order to have the foundation to keep up with that type of workload.
Jeremy, it's good to have you in Atlanta. Best of luck Friday, man.
Thank you, bro.
All right. Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
We'll just go next door to do the live portion, and then you're all done. Thank you.
All right, guys, we have our last athlete of the day. Champ is here. Please raise your hands if you have questions for Raush. And Salvador, let's please kick us off.
Hey, Raush, it's Sal Garcia from Punching Media here. Prior to signing with the PFL, you hadn't fought for about 3 years, and I know it was hard to get fights booked. Have you enjoyed the amount of activity that fighting with the PFL brings?
And PFL changed my life forever, right? I didn't fight for 3 years, not because I want, because I have almost 10 fights canceled. So it was a tough time in my life, but I improved my mindset so much that time. And I think I became the champion I am today because that time made me learning more how to be a more resilient man, for sure.
And being in your second season with the PFL and having won the belt last season, has your motivation changed, or are you just as hungry as 2021 Raush?
Just as hungry. No, actually, I'm more hungry. I'm hungry now because what I did last year, I always concerned with the next fight. You know, I was like concerned with money because I was struggling so many years, and these years I have no more financial problems anymore. So I just fighting because I really love it. I can get risk, you know, can try more, and I'm not concerned with the second check. As far I want a lot to win against everyone, I think this making me more confident to try. And when I get a risk, I finish the fight.
Awesome. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Jim Barcelone.
Thank you, champ.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, so what is it like just getting ready for this fight? I was over at ATT, man. You were still working harder than ever. Seeing you there training, just what is this process like? I know you answered a little bit in the last question, but what has the process been like as a champion getting ready for fight 2?
My treatment on the ATT didn't change at all. I just keep training hard with the best guys in the world. We have a different type of fighters there. If I'm gonna fight some judo guy or wrestler guy, we definitely have all kind of fighters at ATT. So make my camp really doing great. I feel great, no injuries. My body is 100% for the fight. I'm ready to be the champion again.
Hey, and champ, what is it like too? This card is stacked. The first card you fought on this season was a very good card as well. There's like 4 or 5 fighters from American Top Team on this card. And I just thought your thoughts of the good talent from ATT and this card in general coming up this week.
Yeah, this card is almost ATT against the world. Huh? We are super happy. I'm actually very proud to be part of American Top Team. Like I told Dan Lambert once, like it's a dream come true to be part of the team, to have my picture on the wall after to grab the belt in PFL. So I really think we have the best team, and we work really organized with all coaches work together. They are very humble. They accept what is best for every athlete separately. So we are doing great in this card for sure.
And your friend Schulte is on the card. And I know you don't want to look too far ahead, but what would it mean to battle against him someday? And who would the church be rooting for?
Man, they got fighting Natan. We have a deal. Like it's just just in the finals. Okay, we just can find each other we go to the finals. So this make me more calm. Many things good need to happen first before we fight each other. So this is a problem I just want to handle after everything. We're going and win everyone. And man, I'm super excited for his fight. It's such an honor for me fighting the same card as him. We help each other for the camp once again, and it's nice. Our family is gonna be cheering there for us. His family cheer for me, my family cheer for him. So we are brothers.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Go get him, champ.
Thank you.
Ben Davis.
Hey, Hayush. Olivier Aubin-Mercier is very different than Don Match. Given the quick turnaround nature of PFL, is it hard to game plan for fighters with different styles?
It's not difficult, but I think he's dangerous than Don Match. I not work out more. I didn't train more to fight him. But when you're gonna fight a guy who has a really good background in the judo and takedowns, you need to train with strong wrestlers. And training with strong wrestlers always require from you more stamina. So I'm really strong for this fight. But the camp was difficult than my camp for Dom Edge, because against Dom Edge, I was not that concerned with the takedowns. And my camp with I'm ready to defend the takedowns of Olivier Mercier. So my camp was difficult for this time, and in the physical way it was difficult because I need to wrestle more this time. So I finished my training sessions exhausted, but definitely make me ready for this bout.
And yesterday you went to the aquarium with your family. I was curious, what was the coolest fish that you saw while you were there?
No, we didn't got in the aquarium yet. My kids arrive tomorrow by 12:30, and I told them, and I'm going to stay in Atlanta until Sunday night. So probably Saturday is going to be the day to, Coca Museum, of the aquarium, go to the restaurants. I rent a car already, so after the fight. Now focus on the fight. But my kids are going to be here in a different hotel by tomorrow noon.
Awesome. Thanks, champ. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to read a question.
Okay.
Josh Sean from LLO and JMC Productions asks, after a complicated fight against Don Madge, and that was a beautiful knockout, what areas of improvement fans will see on Friday?
Okay, I focus and finishing and start the fight how I finish the fight. So my focus was like start strong, and even if I warm up and got a little bit tired, like in the warm up just before the fight, I prefer start more warm and maybe a little bit, maybe even a little bit tired, than to let it warm up during the first round, because this has been my biggest mistake, because what I did in the third round against him, I have totally conditions to make it in the first one. So why I didn't? This is something we improved, but it's hard. I'm fighting with the best guys in the world, so it's easy to talk, but it's difficult to make it. But I think my second and third round are always better than the first one. So I will try start this super strong to before the second round ends. I finish this fight.
All right. Thank you. Daniel.
Raush, how's it going, man? It's Daniel Levy from Half the Battle.
Hey, Daniel, how you doing?
Doing excellent. So we talked yesterday and we pretty much covered everything, but one thing I forgot to ask you is, what's your favorite cut of Brazilian steak? Is it the picanha, the fraldinha, the garlic beef?
Ribs, beef ribs. You know that beef ribs they serve you in the spear.
Yeah,
like in the Brazilian steakhouse, they cut just like the slice of the meat. That one's my favorite. Beef ribs is my favorite. Even here, like Texas barbecue style, beef ribs are my favorite, definitely.
And how do you like your beef cooked? Do you like it medium rare, well done? Like, how do you like it, man?
Like no, well done, no, never. Like
Good.
Medium rare is the nicest.
Nice. Now, I asked you this yesterday, but I just want you to answer it again because we have the PFL background right behind you. What's it like fighting in a place like Atlanta with such a rich history of fights?
Man, it's great. I think the audience really loves MMA. So they give you the respect every fight deserves. I very doubt they boo in every single fight in the show because I think when the fans are used to watch a lot of really good fights, they respect the fighters. So I'm really loving being here at this city. I love the place. I'm anxious to be there and give a great show for you.
Boa sorte, irmão.
Thank you. Obrigado.
All right. Ben, did you have another question for Raush?
I would say, Raush, I believe that you partially answered this earlier, but I know you said that the weight cut was easier this time around than before. I was hoping maybe you could expand on that, and if there was anything specific, whether it be the emphasis on wrestling versus the Don Madge camp. What tools made the weight cut easier?
I think because the first weighting cut after like 6 months from the finals last year, I gained lean mass. So in the the last fight, I did cut all that lean mass again, and what unfortunately I can carry with me in the fight. But this time I just make the diet again, but I had no more weight to cut. Like the lean mass was gone, so it was just like cut the body fat again and make the dehydration part. So the very first weighting cut is difficult because of the months we got in the vacation, enjoy the barbecues. That time I just keep the diet. That's make it easier for sure. Like 2 or 3 pounds less this time to cut. Thank you so much, guys.